To get quote-unquote legal PvP in HiSec without Concord intervention, you can either request a duel with another person, or you can declare war on their corporation or alliance. Declaring war, or war decking as it's called, only works if you have your own player corporation of which you are the CEO. And of course you can only declare war on other player corporations and alliances. This will allow you to shoot members of the entity you war-decked in high security space without Concord intervention or other consequences from the NPC police. War-decking does cost money, however. The basic fee is 50 million ISK for 1 week for a corporation or alliance with 51 members or less. Above that, there's a cost for every additional member, up to a ceiling of 500 million ISK for a corporation or alliance with 2,000 members or more. War decking is usually associated with station camping griefers from the Marmite Collective or other big high-sec mercenary groups, but solo war decking can actually be quite fun. There is no blobbing on your side as the aggressor, because obviously it's only you war decking your target, and while solo war decking you're actually more likely to get a fight from your war targets because they may feel more confident that they can kill you. Station camping in trade hubs also doesn't really provide much content or kills when you only have a handful of wars going. You really need the high double-digit numbers to make that work. Thus, it's also quite hard to play station games because you have to constantly move your ships from one station to another to follow your targets, depending on how you choose your targets, of course. Solo war decking is more about hunting down your targets wherever they may be in HiSec. It's sort of like a game of hide and seek with internet spaceships. To be a successful solo war decker you do need a few things though. Watch lists, locator agents, a second neutral character, and a few good PvP ships. When you war deck a corporation, it's important to add all the members to your watch list, so you can see which war targets are online and which ones are offline. You can find out which players are the members of your target corporation by going to evewho.com and searching for the corporation name. Another useful tool for adding watch lists is eve-tools.com, which has a auto-adding feature for watch lists as well as a locator agent finder. How you actually add someone to your watch list is fairly simple. Go to People and Places, search for a character name, right-click the name, select Add Contact, choose your standing and tick the box that says Add Contact to Watch List. To make it easier to organize your contacts, you may want to make some labels. You do that in People and Places on the Contacts tab. In the bottom left it says Labels. Right-click on that and select Manage Labels. Then enter your label, such as the name of your target corporation or alliance, and click Create. If you create your label first, you can actually apply it while adding contacts to your watch list. Locator agents are mission agents that also provide a service where they can tell you where any character is in New Eden, with the exception of wormhole space. There are 4 different locator agents, levels 1 through 4. Level 1 locators can only locate within a constellation, level 2s within a region, level 3s anywhere in New Eden, and level 4s are basically the same as level 3s, except they provide the location of the character you are searching for very quickly. You can get access to these agents by raising your faction or NPC corporation standings through running missions or using data center agents, to which you provide specific NPC pirate dog tags in exchange for an increase in faction standings. These dog tags can be purchased through the market. For more information on data center agents, search for EVE How to Gain Standings Fast on Google. You can find locator agents by going to eve-agents.com or by using the eve-tools.com locator agent finder. You do need to provide an API key that includes your NPC standings for the finder tool to work. As for the neutral character, by neutral I mean it must not be in the corporation that you are using to war deck your targets. Preferably it should have no visible connection to you whatsoever. It's best to have this character on a second account, so you can use both your main and that character at the same time. But if you are only playing with one account, you can still create 2 extra characters on that account. One of them should be a neutral scout that can fly an Astero, with a covert ops cloaking device and a micro warp drive. This only takes a few days of training and is well worth it. Why do you need the neutral scout? To gather intelligence, of course. You can use it to scout your enemies before you decide to engage, to see what ships they have and how many pilots they have, make tactical bookmarks and so on. This can be done even with an alt on your main account if you are only using one account. But with two accounts, an alt is much more useful because you can use it at the same time as your main character, which enables you to provide warp-ins for your main, remote sensor boosting, healing with a logistics ship, or ECM to block other neutral logistics ships. Neutral alts can also provide boosting through warfare links to increase your ship's hit points, repair effectiveness, warp disruption range, speed, and a few other things. Basically, a support alt can be very useful. For solo war decking, you want a ship that's reasonably fast because you will be traveling a lot, somewhat tanky with a good amount of DPS, a medium energy neutralizer to cap out active tanking mission ships, a sensor booster to lock targets faster, and a sufficient amount of tackling modules are also good to have. Generally, a cruiser-sized ship is the way to go. I will show you some fits here briefly, so pause the video if you want to check out the fit more closely. However, I will also put the fits in the video description. One of the cheapest effective ships for this purpose is the Vexor. In fact, it's one of the only T1 non-faction cruisers I would use for war target hunting. I like to use either a armor buffer Vexor with a Meta 3 medium energy neutralizer in the highs, or a dual armor rep Vexor with heavy electron blasters for more DPS. Sometimes I may use a shield Vexor with heavy neutron blasters. This fit has over 700 DPS, but it's not very tanky. If you're going cheap, assault frigates and faction frigates are another good option, as they can also punch above their weight. I like the Jaguar and the Harpy in particular. The Enio is also good, but it's usually best fit with a warp scrambler and a stasis webifier instead of a warp disruptor, so it will be more difficult to catch stuff on stargates. Going a bit more expensive, a Vexor Navy issue with 2 medium neuts is pretty good. This fit in particular punches out above 700 DPS with full skills. Signable is another really good option, especially an armor signable with a sensor booster, warp disruptor and scrambler, as well as a medium energy neutralizer. It also gets a bonus to warp speed, which is really useful. Stratios works too. This fit is actually similar to the Vexor Navy issue, but with less DPS, slightly more tank, and of course it can cloak and warp while cloaked. I also like the Pilgrim, and going into the really blingy ships, the Tech 3 strategic cruisers are really good options as well. They have the DPS and tank of battleships, while being maneuverable like cruisers, the best of both worlds. But they do cost a lot of money, and if you lose one, you lose the skill points for a subsystem skill as well. I personally prefer the Proteus and Loki, because they both have a subsystem which gives you a bonus to tackling range. For the Proteus, it's the warp disruptors and scramblers. For the Loki, it's a bonus to stasis webifier range. The Proteus also has the gravitational capacitor subsystem that gives you a bonus to warp speed, which can be really useful when chasing targets. Other than that, heavy assault cruisers are also a good option if you want to go a bit cheaper than strategic cruisers. Alright, let's summarize the gist of what it takes to be a successful solo war decker. You need to pay 50 mil or more for a week of war decks per corporation or alliance. Often you will make this back in the form of loot from your kills, but not always. You should add all of your targets, or as many as possible, to your watch list. EveWho.com or eve-tools.com are great resources for this. Locator agents are essential in helping you find the location of your targets. Get your faction or corporation standings up to get access to level 3 agents. The Caldari State faction has the most locator agents overall. Get a neutral character, either a second account or another toon on your main account, so that you can scout your targets without them knowing it's you. This will help you determine your strategy for fighting them. Get some proper PvP ships to fight your targets. The Vexor, destroyers and assault frigates are the cheapest viable options. Faction cruisers, heavy assault cruisers and strategic cruisers are the ideal choice for a war target hunting workhorse, as they will allow you to engage a wide array of ships and they are quick, allowing you to travel faster between systems, constellations and regions. That's basically it. I hope this video was helpful. Please leave any comments or suggestions below, and if you liked the video, please like it, give me a thumbs up or whatever. And yeah, that's it guys, fly dangerous.